It was the last sunset of summer, when the winds over the dry plains whispered sorrow. The dust rose from the ground like ghosts of the fallen, and the sound of chains echoed through the small border town of Dead Creek. People had gathered near the wooden stage, and not for music or celebration, but for something far darker. That day, the last Apache woman was to be sold. Her name was Tala, and she stood barefoot under the burning sky, her wrists bound, her eyes proud but full of silent storms. Every gaze that touched her was cruel, every whisper filled with greed. To the townsfolk, she was nothing more than a price to be shouted. But to one man, standing in the back of the crowd, she looked like a soul wronged by the world. That man was Colt Reeves, a quiet cowboy whose eyes told stories of battles he never spoke of. He came to Dead Creek only to sell 2 Mustangs, but when he saw her standing there, trembling yet unbroken, something deep within him stirred, something he thought had long died. The auctioneer's voice tore through the silence. "Starting at $20. The last Apache woman, a fine young one. She'll work your land or warm your bed." The crowd chuckled. Tala's chin lifted higher, her pride unshaken. Colt's jaw tightened. He'd seen cruelty, but this felt like hell in daylight. The bids went up, the laughter grew louder, and just as the auctioneer slammed his gavel to sell her off to a rancher known for his brutality, Colt's voice rang out, $50. The crowd went quiet. Heads turned. The rancher glared. "Who said that?" Colt stepped forward, boots striking the dirt, the brim of his hat shadowing his eyes. "I'll take her." The auctioneer blinked. "You sure, mister? She ain't no pet. She's Apache." Colt's voice was calm, but carried the weight of thunder. "I said I'll take her." A few minutes later, the gavel struck again, sold. And just like that, her fate changed hands. When the chains were removed, Tala didn't move. She just stared at Colt, her breath shaking. Why would you buy me?" He didn't answer right away. He just placed his hat over his heart, his eyes soft. "Maybe because no one else saw what I did." She frowned. "And what did you see?" Colt looked toward the dying sun. "A woman who deserved freedom, not a price tag." As the sun sank behind the hills, Colt led her toward his horse. The crowd muttered, some laughed, others whispered about the fool cowboy who paid gold for a savage. But Colt didn't care. He'd seen too much cruelty to stay silent any longer. The ride was quiet. Only the wind and the sound of hooves spoke. Tala watched him, trying to understand. No man had ever looked at her like that, not with pity, but with something close to respect. When they reached his small ranch outside town, Colt helped her down and handed her a blanket. "You can rest inside," he said. "Ain't much, but it's safe." Tala hesitated. "Safe is a word my people don't believe in anymore." Colt nodded. "Maybe it's time someone gave it back to you." That night, as the stars lit up the dark sky, Tala sat by the fire. The warmth felt strange, almost like a promise. She watched Colt repair his old saddle, silent but steady, his presence neither threatening nor distant. After a long pause, she whispered, "You don't even know me. Why risk your money, your life, for someone like me?" Colt looked up, his eyes glowing with firelight. "Maybe 'cause I know what it's like to lose everything you love. Maybe 'cause I'm tired of seeing good souls broken." She turned away, blinking back tears she didn't want him to see. For the first time since her capture, she felt her heart slow, her breath calm. Outside, a coyote howled, the cry of freedom, the song of the night. Colt looked toward it and said softly, "You're not my slave, Tala. Tomorrow, if you want to leave, I won't stop you." Her eyes widened. "You just let me go?" He nodded. "Ain't a man alive who can own another soul." That night she didn't sleep. She watched him until the fire died, wondering who he really was and why fate had chosen this man to cross her path. The morning brought silence again, but this time it wasn't empty. It was peaceful. She stepped outside, feeling the breeze brush her face, and for the first time in years, she whispered a prayer in her own tongue, a prayer for freedom, and maybe for the man who gave it back to her. But peace never lasts long on the frontier. Down in Dead Creek, the rancher Colt had outbid was sharpening his rage like a blade. And he swore that before the next full moon, he'd take back what was his, even if it meant blood. The war for one woman's freedom was only beginning, and somewhere deep inside her heart, Tulla already knew this cowboy wasn't just her savior. He was her destiny,